People in the valley used to laugh at him, not because he was cruel, not because he was strange, but because to them he looked useless. While others rushed through life like they were being chased, he moved slowly. While others argued, he listened. While others fought the world, he seemed to let the world pass through him. His name was Shen, and the villagers called him the man who did nothing.
The river ran clear that day, not because the world was kinder, because the world did not notice you. Spring had arrived early in the valley. Plum blossoms drifted through the air like pale snow. Petals landed on stones, on water, on Shen's sleeve, and were carried away without complaint. Shen sat at the riverbank as usual, a clay cup beside him, a small kettle, one breath in, one breath out. Beauty everywhere, and still the river sounded the same. Footsteps came fast behind him. Wei. He should have been smiling, with petals falling like blessings, but his face was gray. His shoulders were pulled up like he was bracing against wind that wasn't there. Wei stood next to Shen for a long moment, staring at the blossoms like they were mocking him. Finally he spoke. "Uncle." His voice cracked at the edge. "I can't hold myself together." Shen didn't look up. A petal landed on the surface of the tea in Shen's cup. He watched it float. Wei kept talking, fast now, as if speed could outrun pain. "She chose someone else. She didn't even hate me. She just moved on." Wei's hands opened and closed once, empty. "I can't sleep. I can't eat. When I walk, I feel heavy. When I sit, I feel worse." He swallowed. "Everything is beautiful today, and it means nothing." Shen finally lifted his eyes. Not soft, not cold, clear. "Tell me," Shen said, "what is hurting?" Wei laughed once, bitter. "What do you mean? My heart is hurting." Shen nodded slowly, as if agreeing with the weather. "Then answer one question," Shen said. "Do you want her happiness, or do you want your ownership?" Wei's head snapped up. He looked offended. "Ownership? I love her." Shen didn't argue. He only repeated the question. Wei forced the answer through his teeth. "I want her to be happy, of course." Shen pointed at Wei's chest. "Then why does her happiness feel like a knife?" he asked. Wei went still. The blossoms kept falling. Wei's mouth opened. No words came, because the truth was too clean. Finally he whispered, "Because it's not with me." Shen nodded once. "So the pain is not love," Shen said. "It is a contract breaking." Wei's brow tightened. A contract? Shen poured tea into the clay cup. A thin stream, a quiet sound. He didn't fill it. Half. He pushed it toward Wei. Wei didn't take it. His hands shook too much. Shen asked another question, gentle but sharp. "If she returned tomorrow, but she didn't love you. She only stayed because she felt guilty." Shen watched Wei closely. "Would you still want her?" Wei swallowed. The answer sat in him like a stone. "No," he admitted, almost inaudible. "I want her to love me." Shen nodded. "Then listen carefully," Shen said. "If you need her love, to feel okay, to feel chosen, to feel worth something," he tapped the half-filled cup once, "then you are not describing love. You are describing hunger." Wei flinched. His eyes went red. "You're saying I'm selfish?" Shen's voice did not change. "I'm saying you are human, he replied. Most people begin with selfish love, because that is the only love they know. Wei stared at the river. A pebble hit the surface and spun once, then drifted away. Wei spoke like a child caught stealing. But I did so much for her. I listened. I helped. I gave my time. Shen's eyes stayed on Wei. And when you gave, Shen said, what were you secretly asking for? Wei shook his head quickly. Nothing. I didn't ask for anything. Shen waited. Silence is good at pulling truth out of men. Wei's lips trembled. Then he said it, small, honest, ashamed. I wanted her to choose me. Shen nodded once. There, he said. That is the hidden sentence inside most romance. Wei looked down. Shen continued. When you say, I love you, many people mean, choose me, stay, prove I'm enough, make me safe. Wei's jaw clenched. He wanted to defend himself, but the words were too accurate. Shen lifted a plum blossom that had landed on his knee. He held it between two fingers. It falls, Shen said. It doesn't ask if you are ready. It doesn't negotiate. He let it go. It drifted away. Love is like this, Shen said. It does not demand a receipt. Wei's breath caught. Shen leaned slightly forward. Attachment is different, Shen said. Attachment says, I gave you my heart, now owe me your love. Wei's eyes widened. He whispered, so nobody really loves? Everyone just loves themselves? Shen shook his head. No, he said, real love exists, but it is a skill, and skill requires training. Wei's voice broke. Then what do I do with this pain? Shen didn't offer comfort that would rot in an hour. He offered a discipline. 7 days, Shen said. Wei looked up. Shen's tone stayed simple, like naming a technique. I will teach you, Shen said, the fasting of the heart. Wei frowned. A fasting? Shen nodded. You have been feeding your hunger with her shadow, he said. You will stop. He held up one finger. First, do not touch her life. No messages, no one last look, no asking friends, no stalking her echo. Wei's face tightened in protest. Shen held up a second finger. Second, when pain rises, name it correctly, not love. Wei swallowed. Shen said the words like labels on jars. Craving, jealousy, rejection, fear. Wei's breath slowed. Shen held up a third finger. Third, ask one question each time the wave hits. What am I trying to get from her right now? Wei stared at him. Shen's gaze held steady. Approval? Proof? Control? Safety? A guarantee? Wei's eyes lowered. He knew. Shen held up a fourth finger. Fourth, when you see what you are trying to get, do one self-respecting thing instead. Wei frowned. Like what? Shen answered without romance. Eat. Sleep. Move your body. Do your work. Wash your bowl. Clean your room. Walk until your breath becomes yours again. Wei looked confused. That sounds cold. Shen's voice softened, just a fraction. It is not cold, he said. It is medicine. Wei whispered, how does that heal this? It's my heart. Shen looked at the river. When the mind is lying to you, Shen said, only the body still tells the truth. Wei went quiet. A long time passed. Blossoms fell. The river carried them. Wei's shoulders sank, finally tired, in a clean way, not panicked. Wei whispered, so what is real love then? Shen lifted the cup again and put it into Wei's hands. Wei took it carefully, as if it might burn. It didn't. It was warm, and it was half. Wei stared at it. A half-empty cup, not a disaster, not an insult, just honest. Shen said, "Real love says, 'May you be well, even if you are not mine.'" Wei's throat tightened. Shen continued, quieter now. "Attachment says, 'If you are not mine, I will die.'" The river kept moving. The blossoms kept falling. Wei held the half-empty cup, and for the first time he didn't feel an urgent need to fill it. Shen's last line came gentle, but it landed like a stone dropped into deep water. "When you call your hunger love, you turn a person into a drug." Wei closed his eyes. For the first time that day, the blossoms in the air did not feel like mockery. They felt like reality, and reality, unlike fantasy, could be held.